with the Elle podcast, and today I'm going to be interviewing the cast and crew of the Elementals movie, and so I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
What's up, what the L? This is Jame. I am the production manager.
Hi everyone, I'm Deanna. I play Dawn and I am the executive producer.
Hey everyone, my name is JT Morningstar. I play Aiden as well as a few other characters, and I am the creator and directors for Elementals Into the Zones.
Yes, I love to hear it, love to see it. It's nice to meet you all. So for my first question, we're going to start with Jame. My first question for you is, what were the biggest challenges that you faced during production, and how did you overcome them?
Well, that's a doozy. The biggest part was capturing the vision. When I got hired to come on as the production manager, I wanted to understand the project. But going beyond that, I wanted to understand the director and the creator, get into his mind, because ultimately, getting hired to be a part of the project, I wanted to make sure I took care of it. So if I had to X people out, I X people out. If I had to help him stretch out the script and push him past his comfort zone, I did that. I didn't care if he was upset or not. You hired me for a reason, and I'm going to do my job. So those are just some hurdles. There were some other ones, helping the actors get into their characters, bringing out those emotions, helping them stay the goal to get their selves in shape. All those things I was doing.
Right. I love to hear that. It's not very often that you hear, like, people that are comfortable, like just asking people out and things like that. Because I know it myself with being president of the Fashion Club and stuff, and just, like, producing the shows that we produce and things like that. It's really hard for me to just push people out that I know they don't have the same vision that I do, and they're not going to work as hard as I am to see that vision achieved. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to do that.
Oh, baby, I'll push you out.
I know, that's right.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. We love you. And we wish you nothing but the best.
Right.
But unfortunately, at this time,
And the biggest thing about that is, like, we can be friends on the outside, still
Right.
talk, but this is business. We got a job to do. You're not doing your job, so we're going to let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to work on that. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to
Oh,
need y'all
I'm
to help
still
me
working on it. I'm still working on it.
Everyday progress.
Yeah. So my next question is for you, Deanna.
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to the role, and how did you prepare for it?
So when I was first introduced to the role, it was actually while I was on set with JT for another show, and he was just this very loud and extremely excited character when he came up to me, and he was like, "You look like you could have golden eyes," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yes," and then he and one of our friends, they came up with the script and they brought it to us, and they were just like, they were super excited for it, and it kind of made all of us really excited for it as well, and it kind of drew all of us in because they were so excited about it. And then when it comes to preparing for the role, Dawn is my baby, wholeheartedly. She is my baby. When I tell you I have a playlist for her, I sit down and I think about things that she would say that aren't in the script, and I go back and I think of, like, things she would say with her father, things she would say with her mother, just past experiences that she would have had that would kind of lead to the experiences that are happening in the movie. But yeah, it's kind of going back, thinking about things that aren't included, and then coming back and putting it into what's here now.
She failed to tell y'all we'll be talking about something completely different, and then she'll be like, well, this has nothing to do with nothing, but what if Dawn? What if Dawn? I'm like, I'm here
told
for
you,
it.
Dawn is my baby. Like, I have grown to really love and understand her and find so many pieces of myself within her and pieces of me that I can put in her and take away from her. Because she is a hothead. She's a hothead, a fireball, literally. But, like, taking certain pieces from her and putting them into my regular life, and taking things from me and putting them into her, it makes it great.
That's actually really, like, inspirational for me, because I'm actually an actress myself, and I've been kind of in and out of it for a couple of years. I'm signed with a couple of agencies, and I've been doing, like, auditions and things, but it's been kind of hard for me to, like, connect with the characters that I'm auditioning for, and I feel like that's probably the reason why I haven't really booked in a while, because it's just been hard to find that connection And so hearing that you see Dawn as like another person and you genuinely like see her as a person that you love and care for, I'm gonna take that. And
Yeah, like acting is pretending. It's pretending to put yourself in a whole new light, in a whole new world. So it's like those times that you just want to step out and you don't want to be yourself, or you don't go be your character.
Right.
Go sit there and pretend that you're talking to, like, you're your character talking to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And just see what happens.
I love that. Okay. So for JT, what inspired you to take on this project, and what was your vision for the show?
That one's a long story, but I'm gonna summarize it because I like to rant. But I started when I was in middle school. I was like, I just want a Power Ranger themed project. I want to do my own because I want to be a Power Ranger. And it just slowly developed over the years where it's like, okay, I learned who I was as a person, and we're able to take the journeys that I went through, the things I was dealing with, and put them into not only my character that I play, but each character, where it's like just taking that piece of you and amplifying it and bringing it to light where people are discussing the hard topics that people don't want to talk about when it comes to life.
Okay, I love that. All right, so for my next question is for you, Jame. What was your favorite part about working on this show, or on this movie? Sorry.
I would have to say seeing the growth of not only my director, but all the actors. It's been a hardship, but it wasn't in vain. I'm seeing some of the actors, pull from emotions where they never had, learning how to scream properly, get angry, get upset, throw a punch. Those things are, to sit back, I feel like a proud parent, because as one of the oldest people on this project, I bring a lot of wisdom, maturity, bluntness, and directness, but a lot of love. And to see everyone growing into their roles, I am astonished and proud.
I love that. And I hope that everybody that's a part of the production that's watching this really is just appreciative of that, because you don't really hear that much for someone like a producer to say, like, I am proud of my crew. Like, that's powerful. I love that. So for my next question for you, Deanna, were there any particular scenes that were especially challenging or rewarding to the film?
Oh gosh, I have a couple. Can I talk about that scene?
Which one is the question?
That's
my favorite scene.
That scene?
Yeah, because I do have. Okay, so since I can't really discuss that scene yet, y'all just have to watch it to see that one. But there is one scene where I have to tap into a lot of sadness to a point that I have to make myself cry, and having to separate my personal tears from Dawn's tears are that's really the most challenging part, and having to be able to come back from it after having to pull from my personal life, it's very hard. It's extremely challenging, but it's so rewarding when you see it on film and you see it like on screen and you see the tears and you're like, I remember everything that I felt when I did that, and for it to convey as a whole nother emotion is crazy. But it's so rewarding, and it's almost in a way refreshing, because a lot of times when you have scenes like that, you usually think about emotions that you try to like push down yourself. So when you do have that place to let it go, it feels so good. Yeah.
So for JT, how did you approach working with the cast and crew to bring your story to life?
Let me not say what I actually did, because that's another story. But as a director, my thing was just, yes, we have the script, we have the paper, but find that piece of you in that character, that thing that means something to you. Deanna, we talk all the time. This is my sister, so I start putting pieces of Dawn, pieces of her life into it, just to give that more resonation, to be like, okay, like I could feel this, or I'm able to go through these emotions. So a lot of cast members, I'm saying, they're like, what is something that is important to you that you would like to be able to represent in this project and bringing it to life? And as well as us just being able to use those moments to tackle things in our life that we can't necessarily deal with out in the open with people. It's like, okay, yes, this is pretending, but that's when those lines blur, where it's like, okay, am I Aiden or am I JT? Am I Dawn or am I Deanna? And that's where, like you said, just trying to sit back and be like, okay, yeah, these are two different people, and then go from a sad scene to a happy scene in less than 30 seconds. Be like, no, we're good.
That's beautiful. So do y'all want to talk about like how the production helped you guys like come together, like and just relationship wise, like you know, like with friends and stuff like that? Did you guys get closer?
Oh,
Were you
100%.
friends before or anything
All
like
of
that?
all of the above. Like I said, me and Deanna, we met on that set. Like the idea of this project was a thing that brought us together. And then after that, like we lost contact for like 2 years. I left back to my hometown, and our friend who was supposed to play Zeke died. And I called. I was like, I literally just talked to him a few days before. It's like, let's do this project. So I called. I was like, y'all ready to do this? I wrote the script. Let's do it. And she was like, yeah. After that, we had started back being on the phone every day, hours at the day, and just talking and building that. And then we had a lot of newer cast members come in where it's like, don't really know these people, getting to know each other, but learning to realize, like, let's sit on the phone where I be on the phone with cast members till 3 o'clock in the morning for 2 or 4 hours, be like, talking about absolutely nothing. Like, it has nothing to do with nothing. That is Deanna's favorite word. It has nothing to do with nothing, but we're talking about everything, so that when we get in there, my scene partner, like, we have a scene where we have to hit each other, and I'm like, hit me for real. Because I'm to that point where we talk so much that we're in that situation where I know there's no malice behind it, and I know you're going to make sure I'm okay no matter what. And I feel like in the industry, there's a lot of things that people fail to realize, that you have to become a family with someone that you're going to be on set with 16, 17 hours out the day, multiple days out the week and month. It's like you have to build that connection with each other.
It's a level of trust that comes with it, especially when it comes to the more like physical aspect of it. When it comes to the hitting and more like intimate scenes, I think being around each other really gave us a different level of trust when it came to each other, and when it came to being able to understand different people, because we are a cast full of main characters.
Yes.
And that is the easiest way for me to say it, a cast full of nothing but main characters. And it helps you navigate through different types of people. It helps you understand some people you can speak to this way, some people you can't speak to this way. You can joke around here, but you can't joke around there.
Right.
It make you boss up a little bit. It do.
Iron sharpens iron.
Well, I'm stuck with them, as JT said, but I love them. I love them to life. I'm very hard on JT because I see past just the now. I see the future. So I don't like that. No, pull harder. There's a scene that we won't talk about that I had JT purposely create because I wanted to bring out something more in Dawn. But even that scene, me and Dawn, she trusts me openly and transparently, and she allows me to help push her throughout that scene. We talk every day. JT is right hours at a time. Sometimes some of the cast members like, well, I just got off the phone with JT for like 5 hours. 5 hours talking about what? Everything. Everything, nothing in between. I said, okay. And then I'm on the phone with JT, and I had to tell JT, okay, bye. I clocked out. Because my mind is literally on cast, on the project, filming, making sure we're good, making sure it's all over the place, because as a production manager, I need to make sure we are well-rounded. And that's why, even with the cast, I'm going over your aesthetic, your look, how you portray your character. I will cut a scene like, hey, no, I don't like that. Let's try it again. JT has trusted me enough to be able to listen to what I'm saying and still, okay, well, Jame, I don't like that, but let's do it this way. And then we'll go back and forth, and then we'll settle. But we're family. And to be honest, I met JT by accident. It wasn't on purpose. Well, it was God's choice. But I was doing the show. He was there to support someone else. We started talking. Next thing you know, he's like, well, I want you to look at this project. And to be honest, I wasn't pleased. And I gave my honest opinion. And he was like, I need you. And from there, it was just a leap of faith for both of us. Actually, I was the one that convinced JT, like, Deanna needs to be an executive producer. She does too much and has too much value. And at first, she was like, no. At second, she was no. At third time, like, look, this is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, they told me.
Yes, let's talk about that because Deanna, when she came onto this project the first time and the second time, I was like, you need to do more. And she don't like listening to people. She don't like. I had to tell her one day, I was like, you need to start taking those positions people put you in because you deserve it. They ask you that because you're good at it. You're good at what you do and everything you think about. So just do it. And then Jame came in, it's like, yeah, let her know that. Stop her. And now she's here. She started off as producer, then I just put on a flyer one day. It's like executive producer, and she didn't even know it. I put the flyer out and everything was posted. It's like you can't change it now. Can't change it now.
So why were you so kind of lenient about taking that step up?
Well, I guess it's mainly because when you really love something and you really believe in something, the work that you do for it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm going out of my way to do something. So for me at the time, it really didn't feel like, it really just felt like I was just helping.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like oh no, I don't want to do it. It was like I really didn't realize that I was doing it. And like they my people.
Right.
So of course I'm gonna help them, and of course I'm gonna make sure it's done correctly. So it's just, I guess, yeah, when you love it, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like you're overstepping. It doesn't feel like you're going through tunnels. You're just there, and you're just enjoying it, and you're having a good time.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love y'all's dynamic, y'all's relationship. Like I can just tell, just sitting here, like y'all truly love each other, and I just love that this film brought that together. And like you said, it started out, you guys weren't even in contact with each other, and then it took tragedy to bring y'all back together and for y'all to go through with this project that just brought y'all even closer together. That's just so beautiful. I love that. So if you had to describe the show in one word besides the title, what would it be and why?
Unstoppable. That would be my word, unstoppable.
Epic. Yeah, epic.
Extraordinary.
I love that. So, how do you think that this movie will stand out in today's crowded TV landscape?
Y'all want me to answer?
I mean, we can all say something.
This question, this one got me excited. When it comes to film and watching projects, it's always about taking that chance. And the thing that, like, not only as in characters, but this project whole that I had to really tap into and realize is, let me make sure I say the proper words for this. No matter what, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be problems. And if you do it now rather than thinking about it, you could deal with all those possibilities at that point. So just jump out and do it. And in film, people don't do that a lot of times. It's like, oh, well, let's do this because this is what somebody gonna like. And when I wrote it, I always wrote of what do I want to see? What is gonna make it better? Even if it was something that is like, nah, that's something that shouldn't be talked about right now, or that's gonna hurt somebody because of the situation or the world we're dealing in. No, because if you talk about it now, that it brings more awareness to a lot more things that people kind of just gloss over. And so in this project, especially with mental illness, sexuality, dealing with grief, loss, trying to find yourself, acceptance, like all of these are topics that people my age, I feel like we need. I needed when I grew up, didn't have that. And so I refuse to write something that isn't going to allow us to see that and push past that and be able to be like, yes, there's somebody else out there. Even with these guys with all these amazing powers that they could take down the planet, they still have to deal with this. Right. And they found a way to push through it.
I love that. So it's not even about like what the audience wants or what do the people want. It's about what you feel and what needs to be said, what needs to be put into a physical form, and what we need to talk about and what we just need to watch. I love that.
Yep. I say all the time, I didn't write a story, I write characters. We'll be reading sometimes, I'm like, dang, why they say that? They're like, JT, you wrote it. No, I didn't. They said that, not me.
Did you guys want to?
That was really that in a nutshell. This movie really talks, it brings to life a lot of ideas that people are kind of scared to talk about, or they're kind of hesitant to talk about with certain people. And of course, I already know, we already know, this is going to be one of those films that you might be watching it with your parents, and your mama might be like, oh, cover your eyes a little bit. Or your mama might be like, hey, watch your like, it just addresses things that people are more hesitant to talk about, which is great.
The one thing I want the audience to take away from this project is that there's levels to it. Just like there's levels to life. There's different seasons in a year. There's 4. So this project has that many levels and so much more. For example, when I found out about the project and I really dug, I read the script so many times I seen it in my sleep. I challenged JT because as someone who's going through grief, I said, this needs to happen. And as I explained it to him, he's like, okay. And it made sense for him. Because as a creator, we're all sensitive about our stuff. And my goal is to always challenge him in his creativity. So that's what I want the audience to see. Like, this was something that needed to be said. They're taking away from it, and they're now understanding life and its multiple layers differently.
It's an onion. You gotta keep peeling. I want to touch on what he said because earlier Jame said that me and him bounce ideas back off and we're compromised. I don't feel it as a compromise. I feel it as an improvement because, like I said, as artists, we love our artwork. It's like, nah, this is exactly what it looks. But when I write, I start to realize, like, I'm only 22. I'm still young. I'm still learning. So there's a lot of things that, yes, I think I know, but I don't know. I'm a man. Deanna's a woman. We see life completely different. She goes through different things. So I tell, like, let me know if you feel like Dawn should be doing this instead. Let me know if that's not how Dawn react to it, or Dawn should be having this going through her. Because I want to represent it right. Because, again, I want everybody to be able to look and be like, okay, that is somebody I could connect to, that I could see myself and push past the things I'm dealing with. And as a creative, I feel like that's the biggest lessons all of us has to learn, is that sometimes you need to put another hand on the pot, you know, bring your food to it. Don't mean everybody need to be in the kitchen. But, you know, you could bring something here that, whether it be the seasoning, whether it be the plates, whether it be the spoon we serve with, everybody has to bring something to that table, and you have to be willing to take that.
Right. Wow. So is there anything that, like, maybe happened on set or just in your lives, or, like, just pertaining to the production itself that kind of either made you want to stop or fall back, or just any hurdles that you want to touch on that probably might inspire somebody to keep going or just, you know, continue on? Got a little deep there.
So for me, being honest, 6 months ago I was finna stop. I was over it. It takes a lot of work to do something like this, and not even just something like this. This life in general, it's hard. We're young. We got our hormones, our emotions, dealing with so much stuff. And for me, this project starts to take an emotional toll because, again, dealing with so many personalities, so much work to do, being an actor in there and tapping in these characters' emotions and their mental states they're in, it gets a lot. So I was just like, I feel I have to stop. And I had prayed about it. I was genuine, like, you know, if this is something I need to be doing, this is where I need to go in life, like, I need to know that now, because if not, I was going to get up and go back to my hometown and just be done with it.
Where are you from?
I'm from Augusta, from the country. But so met Jame. Like Jame said, like, literally I was just there for a fashion show to support somebody else. You know, I met him, loved it. I was like, never gonna see these people again, getting ready to leave. I was like a couple months out for it. Then, you know, me and Jame got in contact with each other, and he's like, nah, tell me about this project, what's going on. I was like, well, this is the project, this is the story, this is what we're gonna do. And from there, it continued to develop and got so much better. Like I said, we had to drop some people, had to exit people. I was like, you know, you're not meant to be here. And it's time, you know, for me, I wholeheartedly believe it's a year. You leave something, whether it be on good term or bad terms, you got a year before you come back, you know, clear that up and try again. And I give an honest evaluation of, okay, like, we're in different seasons of our lives. Like, things are happening. Sometimes you're dealing with stuff that you don't want to necessarily tell other people. And that's why I love our cast so much, that we'll call and be like, nah, this is what's going on. This will happen. And people will step up and help each other in this cast. Be like, oh, this what you're going through? Okay, cool. Come over here. Let's help you get through it. And developing that family is what helped me get past that hurdle. Be like, okay, I have people here in Atlanta now. Like, I have family here. So I ain't got no reason to go back to my hometown because that's where I feel safe at. That's where I got family now. It's here. So stay here.
Right. And, you know, that's so inspirational. And it's also kind of ironic because the way I met Jame was at a fashion show, just like you. And I really was not going to go. Like, I was not going to go because I had a lot going on that week. It was just, you know, senior year, a lot going on at school. I was tired. I'm pretty sure I was doing something the next day, or I had did something the day before. I was just busy. And my mom was like, you have to go and get some content. You're president of fashion club. You don't go to fashion events in Atlanta, da-da-da-da. I'm like, I'm busy, Mom. I don't, like, I have work to do, stuff like that. But she was like, just go, take your sister, see if you like it, get some content, you know, just get some content. And so I go, I have a good time. I just happen to see Jame. I'm like, you know what? Let me interview him. Let me just go interview him. So I go ask, I interview him, and then after that, I'm really not even thinking nothing of it until he DM'd me and was like, do you want to have me on your podcast? And I never really had anybody reach out to me and, well, someone with like a platform already reach out to me and say, hey, I want to be on your platform. Let's help each other.
Same.
And so that was really inspirational because at that point I was kind of getting tired of it. I was kind of losing the drive for it. But being reached out to and being asked, hey, can I be on your platform? That really inspired me because it was just like, wow, like you see something in me to want to come on my platform. Like that's insane.
And I'm gonna say this: being busy is just an excuse. I used to do that all the time. Like when I first started this project, before I even met Deanna, like I was dealing with a lot of sickness. Like I was back and forth to the doctor. I was in high school trying to finish up. Like, okay, I'm finna fail this grade, and I was like, nah. I had my mom. She was like, nah, you need to go to Atlanta. So I'm in the car driving 2.5 hours to be down here to be on somebody's set for 16 hours, and then those are the things that pushed me. It's like, okay, if I want to be able to do this stress free without having to worry about, oh, I gotta do this, do that, then do something about it. So, you know, that's where it gets. It's like, say, you sit in here, you do the podcast, like, okay, yeah, let me go. I see somebody, let me go up and talk to him, interview. I did the other. Did I know her from a can of paint? But no, we're gonna go talk to her. Don't talk to her. A lot of people have said, they was like, you don't want to go talk to him. You don't want to go talk to him. And she's like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. We missed our take for a scene several times over. Just back there, we supposed to be walking. No, we just sitting there talking. We don't talk because you're gonna do it when you take that leap of faith. Mm-hmm. You're gonna find those people that you need. That's gonna push you. Be like, you know, reigniting that spark. The biggest thing I learned from the fine art school that I worked with was that a leader is nobody. And I know people like that, hate to hear that, because it's like, oh, well, you need a leader to do it. The first follower is the thing that means everything. Jame was your first follower. It's like, oh, hey, can I come and be here? Now it's like, okay, because he's here, now everybody else want to do it, including you. As the leader, the one that started, it's like, now your fire started because he's the spark. You're just a single stick that's floating around here.
Yeah. That's a good little, like, you know, like comparison. I'm going to start using that.
It's a whole video on it. Like, it's like, that's what I got showed that when I was in elementary school. It's a whole video where you just see this dude just run out to a field. Everybody's looking at this crazy. And then you see the second dude, he gets up and start running around with him. And now you got a whole field of people just running around with their heads cut off. And that one person looked crazy when they was doing it by themselves. But that spark is that one that led everybody else to do it too.
I'm going to talk about that in my next rise meeting at school. I'm talking about that. That's a really good point.
It's a domino effect. One, thank you for even listening and, you know, responding to the DM.
Of course.
My mother always, because my real name is Iman, which means faith. So I walk through life seeing how I can help someone else. As a visionary and a dreamer myself, my job on this world is to help other people, push them past their own understanding. I wish I had somebody like myself when I started out in this industry. This year makes 22 years I've been in the game. Everything from photography to designing to model management, coaching, development, now production management. My goal for anyone that I interact with is, what am I leaving you with? You know, seeing you that day, and I was in my own head. And I was just like, oh, you want to interview? Yeah, sure, come on. And we talked. And then I told them about it. I was like, we're going to be on there. And I spoke it into existence. I said, it's okay. I'm like, she's young. We need that demographic. It's going to work. And then look at you. I didn't even know you was thinking about stopping, not wanting to pursue this and everything. And same thing with him. I didn't know that either. But I'm glad that I came in contact with both of you because then now look where you are. You have a whole film production crew here. Then this is going to line up something else for you. Same thing for him. You know, this is going to line up the next. And this man already has 17 projects already written and ready to go. And he's like.
That's just for the elemental universe. We're more like 25 with everything else. Oh, I'm ready.
And he's so JT Morningstar is now also starting Morningstar Studio Productions, and he's like, Jame, you're 1/3 of the clique. I was like, what you mean? Well, you're not going nowhere. I'm like, okay, sure. I can't go nowhere now. So then now we have this, and it's this. I'm just so proud of where he's going and what he's going to accomplish. And I'm there for every step of the ride. As long as he'll keep me, I'll be there. Same thing with Deanna.
You ain't going nowhere, Buster.
What we are going to accomplish.
What we are going to accomplish. Even with Deanna, one day we talking, I think, D, you do so much more. You need to make your own brand. She's like, what am I going to call it? Lady Elise. And boom.
2 weeks later, there was a logo.
2 weeks later, there was a logo.
Tell me about Lady Elise. Tell me about that.
Baby, that's choreography, that's makeup, it's hair, it's everything that you need behind the scenes before the camera starts rolling. So
it's the life, it's the vision, it's Elise.
It's the thing, the setup to before the director says action. Everything that involves the makeup, everything that involves the hair, the styling, choreography, dance practices, auditions, techniques, like those types of things, the things that people are so afraid to ask people for help for. So that's mainly what I wanted it to be, what it is.
Right.
Just for somebody, it's like a big sister program almost. So like, you know how like when you have your big sister and you know that's your one person you can go to and you're like, I don't really want anybody else to know that I need help doing this. Yeah, it's like a big sister. I'm the big sister that just thinks she knows it all. Yeah.
She's the one that everybody in the cast is calling. Please help me. That's included me. I called her, cried a couple times, like, D, help me, save us.
But I'm also quick to say, we'll fix it. Let's fix it.
She does that all the time. So I am the scolder. Deanna, it's okay, we're gonna get through it. JT was like, no, I don't like it. He is the judge and the ruler. I tend to be the executioner, and Deanna tends to be the savior. And we just mesh really well. So they're like, okay, we can't call Jame because he's going to chew us out. Let's call Deanna. And then Deanna was like, you know why they called you, right? Because they didn't want to hear my mouth. But then, you know why they didn't want to call JT? Because JT was going to give them the whole spiel. So we worked really, really well together. That's why it was easy for me to see the Lady Elise brand being birthed, the MorningStar Production Studios being birthed. So it's really an excitement for this journey.
And I would say this too, like working in this industry, that we always fail to realize how much more is going on in the background. So it's like they call Deanna because again she's living. It's like, okay, we're gonna fix it. I'm gonna talk to them. Jame like off with their heads, and I'm just like, you either want to fix it or you don't want to be here. And the reason I say that is because you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot drown him. You cannot force him to drink. So if you want to do this, let's do this. I'm willing to, like I say all the time, I'm willing to fight for everybody on my project, but I need something worth fighting for.
Right.
If you don't send me out there with armor where I could defend you, there's nothing I can do. And the moment I see that from someone, I'm like, nah, I'm done. And then it's like, nah, it's okay. Let's talk to them first. And Jame's like, yeah, off with their head. So it's like, Deanna, call them. Let them say what they're going to say to you. After that, I guess I decide.
But it's only because you want to give everybody like a fair chance to say how they feel. Mm-hmm. But once you start playing around with people and once you start playing around with how other people are trying to help you, that's when it's a cut.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get so many chances with people. With me, it's you get a little, maybe one more extra chance than with other people. But once you play with that, it's wraps for you.
Yeah.
But you also in this industry, you you don't know who you're talking to most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't speak out the side of your neck.
Exactly.
And that's what people need to understand.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that.
They don't.
They really don't.
I've been in the rooms with people, and people just run their mouth off. It's like, do y'all not know who that is? Who y'all talking to? Even us, we've been in that situation where we've been in stuff, and it's just like, oh, well, you knew our way, and we're like, okay, don't say anything about it, go by day. But it's like now that's in our head where it's like, okay, well, we don't want them at the next event, not knowing that we're the ones putting the event together. You don't know that, so you have to be mindful, and that's why I go by life. Treat everybody the same. So whatever I say to Deanna, I said to somebody on the street and meant it. If they was in the CEO sitting in the chair, still meant it. Like I said it. Nobody will ever be able to be like, oh, well, this was said and said. And I feel like a lot of people should live life that way because it's going to get us through a lot more stuff if everybody's just transparent and let us know those are the things that need to happen and be done.
I just realized something. 1 chance, that's all. 2 chances, and then 3 chances.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever want to start with me because I'm like, no, we don't need it.
Right.
We don't. Because I got onto this project, I think June. No.
It's been 6 months.
Yeah.
It's been exactly 6 months.
Exactly 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, I said, tell me what you want to do. He said, well, my goal was to film again. I said, okay, we're still going to film in December. No matter how we're going to do it, we're going to get there. And the date has not changed. The month has not changed. We are still set to start filming on Tuesday through Friday. And it's been revisions to the script, revisions to the cast.
I wrote a new scene literally 3 days ago.
And to see everything start coming to fruition for him, I'm just sitting back and just like, thank God. Because sometimes we have dreams that we just let falter and die off. But this was one thing I did not, no, we're not pushing it back. We're still going to do this, and this is the game plan. What we're not going to do, we're not going to start filming the whole thing. We will film meat and gravy to produce something to then now get people to come see it, invest in it, and create a trail for it. And now we're set.
So, is there anything that you guys like to share with the fans that are eagerly waiting for the premiere? Or like a message or advice to aspiring production managers, actors, directors, anything like that? Anything that you guys want to end off with or share?
Okay, I'm going to say this. Don't copyright us for it. It belongs to Nike, but just do it. Just do it. That's the easy way to summarize everything. And then to like, when you see this project, sit down and genuinely look at it. There's so many topics that we can talk about that's being shown in that reality, that understanding of things. And for me, I do my research. I research everything I put into this project, from the Greek gods, the Egyptian gods, and everything in between. When it comes to the mental illnesses, things like that, like what are the true systems? How do you feel that? Talk with people who go through it. I would sit in the room and ironically watch serial killer videos just to see how they interview, because you have a certain body language about you when you say certain things. When you're lying, you're telling the truth, you get defensive, and developing that so you'll be able to sit here and look at it. It's like that gray line between reality and fiction is utterly blurred for this project.
If I had to say something to leave for the viewers and the fans, think of your success at the bottom of the mountain. If you sit at the top of the mountain for years, you'll never see it. So if you take the leap, yes, there's going to be scratches, there's going to be bruises, there's going to be broken bones, heartaches and trials and grief. But once you land on your feet and get to the bottom, it will all be worth it. Because then you can look at all that pain, sorrow, anguish as just the past. It's what built you. It's what made you. So don't get discouraged. Don't get lost. Stay the course. Don't look at what's happening around you. Don't evaluate your success on other people's. Don't forget about the small successes, because those are still triumphs. So if you keep pushing, I always say this in all my engagements, as long as you're in the fire and you keep moving, you'll never get burned. It is when you stand still that the flames will come to you. Don't do it. Keep moving. You'll get out and you'll achieve your goals.
Biggest thing, my great grandfather, he used to always tell me, no flower blooms at the same time as the one next to it. You have to unapologetically be yourself in everything you do. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Don't let anybody tell you what you like. Don't let anybody tell you what you don't like. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. How do they know?
Right.
Are they you? No.
Mm-mm.
You can't sit there and let somebody dictate your life because it's not theirs.
Right.
If you're not able to grasp your own life, then you're throwing it away at that point. Make sure you are unapologetically yourself with everything you do. Yeah, girl, that's the one.
I got one more thing I want to add
Right.
onto that. And people not gonna like this, but I say don't dream.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dream, because if you're dreaming, you're gonna have to open your eyes sooner or later. Live. Let that be your reality. We was on a podcast before, and I said exact things like, so what are your dreams? I was like, I don't have dreams. I have realities. Because if you have a reality and you get up and you make it, nothing's gonna stop you.
Clock that. Yes. Clock that. Yes. Well, I just want to say that I personally am very excited. Number one, hearing about the Greek mythology and the Egyptian mythology, and hearing this like Power Rangers, I'm excited. Like that's right up my alley. I love stuff like that. But yes, I'm ready to see it. Yes. But yeah, I really wish we could keep going, but the camera is gonna die. But I really enjoyed this interview. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. This is the longest interview that I've ever done. And it didn't even seem like it was that long. It doesn't seem like 43 minutes. But
So see, you want to keep going. So this is a question: when do you want to do it again?
Now I was talking to Jame. I am booked up for until next year.
As you should be.
Yeah, but let me think. I think I said February was my next availability. So we can do February as it approaches. I can reach out to y'all, talk to y'all about that, and see if we can schedule something. But yeah, we got to do this again because when it comes out, we got to do it again when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you already know we're going to give you red carpet access for January 11th. So make sure you come in your finest,
Yes.
black and gold.
Yes.
Black and gold.
Oh my God.
It's the color. It's the color.
Yes. Oh my God. I would love to come. Yes. That's wow. I'm about to cry. Like, this is so. Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap this up. Yes. Okay. It was so beautiful talking to you guys. Thank you so much for coming on with the Elle podcast, and I just really enjoy interviewing you.